Now, why did we come to Kansas City rather than a dozen other cities that requested that we go there instead? Well, I'll tell you why. You don't say no to Congressman Cleaver. So we're glad to be here. And I must say, of the 8 town hall meetings that we've had, the only senator, the only congressman who has actually requested an opportunity to participate in the meeting is Congressman Cleaver. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Cleaver.
Thank you very much. And I'm thrilled that a couple of you showed up this afternoon. I think that speaks loudly to the significance of this issue. And I'm going to be brief because what I want you to do is listen to Ken Feinberg, or maybe more correctly, he wants to listen to you. We've had many retirees within the Central States Pension Fund to contact us over the past couple of months. And my office has been contacted by just about 500 people. 113 constituents from the 5th Congressional District sent in privacy waivers so that I could work on their behalf. And the rest were sent by those affected in 17 other states. All expressed concern on the potential cuts to their pensions or those of their loved ones. This is money that you have earned. You know, I get tired sometimes. Sometimes people get into the belief on Social Security that somehow somebody's giving you something. You know, you worked and earned it just like you worked and earned this. And in my district alone, there will be an estimated 3,559 people affected, with a total of $350 million worth of pensions at risk. And for the state of Missouri, there's an estimated 32,000 people affected, with a grand total of $3 billion at risk. Now, these numbers matter, but it's your personal stories that moved me to action. My great-grandpa, Henry Barton, and his wife had 18 children, one of whom was Annie Mae Barton, my paternal grandmother. And the story has been around for years about the people coming around back in the 1920s doing a census count. They used to go around and knock on doors. And so a census worker showed up at the door and said, Miss Barton, I'm from the U.S. Census. We want to know, you know, how many people in here. And she said, oh, thank you for stopping by. There is Willie, there is Hannah, there's Cora, there's Thad. Thad is my baby. Thad wanted to play baseball, but you know, Thad could never throw the ball. And then there is Sugar, and there's Cora. And so the guy says, thank you, Miss Barton, with all due respect. Can you just tell me how many? What's the number who live in this house? And she said, well, I ain't got no numbers. She said, I got some children. And so when I look at these numbers, there are people behind these numbers. These are real, live human beings, not numbers. I mean, these are people who worked all of their lives and deserve the best in their late years. And so in November, I sent a letter to the U.S. Department of Treasury Secretary Jack Lew, informing him of the alarming number of constituents affected and requested a more agreeable reduction. My staff has also worked on constituents to draft letters to the fund, and we helped others who were outside of the district. And in January, I followed up with Treasury and requested that Attorney and Special Master for executive compensation, Ken Feinberg, come to Kansas City. He agreed to do so. Let me just tell you, and if you don't know who this guy is, this guy is good. I mean, I put him in the category with the great negotiators. Ramses II. I mean, he negotiated a treaty with the Hittites, and then there was Kennedy and Khrushchev, and the Bay of Pigs, and so then there's Feinberg. So I think we have somebody who is good, who understands, and who listens and takes us back. Now, just before he comes back up, let me just say one other thing. One of the individuals here has a mother who's 82 years old and was receiving $850 because that's a half of the survivor's benefit, and so they're going to cut her by $100. Now, that just burns me up. $850, and they're going to cut her. I have a 93-year-old father down in Texas, worked all of his life, never earned more than $25,000 a year, sent 4 kids to college, and he's getting something like $1,200 a month for Social Security and then another little pension. And if you cut him just $100, it hurts. Just $100. And so I've joined in with some of my colleagues, and we have co-sponsored a legislation, House Bill 2844, and it's called our Pension Promises Act. We're going to keep our Pensions Promises Act. And when I get back to Washington, this is our district work week next week, and I was telling our great negotiator that I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to every single door of every member in my office building, Raven office building, saying we need you. This is not partisan. It's just the right thing to do. Look, we can fix this thing. It's supposed to be fixed, and I'm making a pledge to do everything I can. I'll knock on every door. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care if they're a Republican. I don't care if they're a member of the Oakland Raiders. It doesn't matter with me. I'm going to talk to anybody I can to jump on board because it's the right thing to do. You worked all of your lives. You deserve to get the best.